Thank you, Mr. President. I have several items I'd like to discuss, but I would first of all like to discuss the council's rescinding my excused absence from National Night Out. Now, I happen to be a senior citizen also, and I refuse to let anybody here in this room dictate to me when I will feel safe and unsafe. And that is what is happening. I have requested that we start providing police protection at our council meetings, and especially an outdoor one, and those requests have been ignored. But I'm saying to you again, you have no right to dictate to me when I do not feel safe, and you have no right to dictate to me that I come to an open meeting where I know that we're going to be people there that do not have kindness in their heart towards me. So I am going to say that, and I'm going to say it once to the men on this council, because I think you're refusing to acknowledge my safety concerns. And that's all I'm going to say on that, Mr. President, and I think whole council.
Yeah, absolutely, but there is one item that you may not necessarily know. We do have more than one police presence here, so there is security.
A uniformed officer here. You think you could provide the
Absolutely, we have more than one officer here. So I would encourage everybody to get to know your officer.
Mr. President.
Okay.
Thank you. And secondly, I'm sorry, I covered up his name. I'm glad that we had the gentleman here that commented on the incident that occurred in the Walmart parking lot to the gentlewoman who's 84 years old. And I am calling for an independent investigation of this incident. And not only that, I would like to get some other groups involved, people from the Alzheimer's organizations, senior citizens, and so that we can try to move forward, let the community and the people outside of our community know that we do care about our elderly people, and that we can prevent something like this from happening again. So the mayor isn't here tonight, so Mr. Okay, thank you. So I'm calling for an independent investigation of this, and more so that we can get the facts out, we can discuss it openly, and how we can move forward and make this a better city for everyone, including our senior citizens.
And I will go back to the statement earlier that you've been briefed on items in an executive session. I would encourage you to not make any other comments.
Well, thank you. And on the personal level, me personally, as Jackie Thompson, I would like to say to that elderly gentlewoman, I am sorry. I Googled this last night, and I was shocked at the hateful comments that were on some of these websites towards this elderly woman who has a debilitating disease, dementia, which a lot of our elderly people do. So personally, me, Jackie Thompson, I'm sorry.
You're standing out front of you speaking as a citizen, not up here.
And thank you very much. And lastly, I would like to discuss a little bit about code enforcement. It has been brought to my attention that while being called out as an example for a building permit, some type of a permit, and the person goes out to inspect the work being done and starts writing up code violations, not only on that property, which never was a problem, I mean, that was just a permit, but also the property surrounding it. And that is a concern to me, whether we are getting permission to do that. And then the question arises with this new code enforcement / dog warden. Are they also, if someone calls because there's a dog incident, are they going to have to fear that while that person's out, they're going to look around for all the code violations and write everybody up for that too? So there needs to be a separation on some of these functions, and I'm very concerned. And I'll go back to the same thing again. It's about fear. And now are we going to be afraid that if we call for the city's help, on something, the next thing we know, we're written up for everything. If we call because we're afraid of a dog, that, gosh, while they're there, it might write us up for code violations. There needs to be some separation here, and that's why I encouraged that position of dog warden be placed over in the safety department where it belongs, where that person is sworn in to uphold the laws of the city. And I have talked to Mr. Shannon about this, and I haven't gotten something to you yet, Mr. Shannon, but I will just get some legal direction on this, because I think the citizens need to know that there are some parameters on all of this. So, thank you, Mr. President. That's all I have to say this evening.
Thank you.